Good morning. At least it is for us here at the Teardrop Pod headquarters, episode 9. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chris, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Mr. Andrew. Mr. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Just had a wonderful Waffle House breakfast.
Waffle.
My tummy is full, and my brain is full of thoughts that I need to share about a certain movie that just came out this past week.
Yes, sir. It is a morning recording, which is a first for us here. We've never done this before, but we were like, all right, schedule's crazy as usual. Andrew's over here working his ass off. Lovely man, doing God's work. And I am making things more difficult because I have extra things to talk about, as you'll soon hear. So we're like, we can't wait. We gotta get one in this week for sure. And so we are making it work. I'm all dressed up, ready to bolt out of here for work. And
He's looking kind of spiffy, isn't he? Look at him.
Stop it. You know, all you viewers might, if you feel like, you can pop on that video real quick just to see what he's talking about. It's nothing crazy though. But yeah, let's just get into it. We got a lot to talk about today and not a lot of time to do it. So the run of show for today, I have beaten 2 games that we've been talking about in recent episodes: Blueprints and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I'm a madman, just couldn't stop.
Just insane.
We have both seen Thunderbolts, and that means, since that is the last movie in Phase 5 of the MCU, we are going to do a little mini tier list this week on Phase 5 MCU movies. I think the in-game end goal here is that we're going to, over time, give you guys the tier list for each of the phases to kind of break it up a little bit. And then maybe for like the next big event, we'll do a huge, mega tier list or something. But this gives us a little bit more time so that you don't have a 6-hour episode of the pod while we try and do all this.
That's going to be a long one.
So should we just dive into it here?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, get right into it. You beat Blueprints, eh?
I did, and I say I mean, really, it was myself and Meredith. I mean, we played this entire game together. You might remember when we were talking about it earlier that Mare loves puzzle games, and so when I told her the concept of this one, she was like, "Oh, let me see," and so she was like taking notes the whole time, and it was so funny because I was getting more and more absorbed into Expedition 33, and she was kind of like, let me know if you ever want to play Blueprints again. Like, she was the one kind of
really, she was like craving it. She was like, yo, get me back in Blueprints.
Exactly. Put me in, coach. Put me back in. And so we did, and we have rolled credits. I say we've beaten Blueprints. Now, if you listen to what a lot of the people on the internet say, we have not actually beaten Blueprints because there's still a lot of mysteries and puzzles to solve once you overrolled credits. But we have beaten the main objective. We have seen credits roll. So, I mean, that kind of plays into my thoughts of the game, in that, like, this is a great game. This is a great game. But it does, for me, still fall into some of those trappings of the roguelike genre, where it's like, all right, it does start to feel a little repetitive by the end because you've done the same, gameplay loop so many times. And once I have beaten it once, it's like Hades, right? Everyone says that you haven't actually beaten Hades if you don't beat it like all 10 times, right? And once I beat it once, I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I beat it. And I didn't really.
I've seen everything that I need to see, kind of.
Exactly. That's just how I operate with roguelikes. I will say, because this is something that we played together, and because there are more tangible goals, if that makes sense. Like, there are puzzles that, like, okay, I know what I need to do to figure these out. I just have to have a run that plays out well enough that I can make it happen. So like, there are still carrots on the stick there, and I don't know, there is definitely a story here. I don't want to say that there's not. It's one that is interesting, but it's also so much like you have to put it together yourself, and it's so kind of one of those, I don't want to say esoteric, because there are definitive aspects of it, but there's a lot that is kind of figured out as you go, little heady kind of things, if that makes sense. And so it's not like, okay, I'm gonna solve this one puzzle and then I'm gonna get this huge narrative conclusion that I've really been looking for. That's just not really how the story presents itself for me. And so, like, I am interested to see more information if we go back to it, but Uh, yeah, I'm not one of those people that's like, okay, you have to beat it, a dozen times, solve every puzzle to really beat it. Like, I like completionist stuff, but I don't know. For games like this, that's just not necessarily what I feel is the finish line. So in my mind, I think we will go back to it. I think it's something fun for us to kind of do as a couple. If I was playing it by myself, I probably would be done.
Yeah, I still haven't gone back to it since I played it for that 30 minutes. Even though like I've thought about it, but then Expedition 33 came out, and it's like I can't do anything else other than play that game right now.
Completely understandably.
But is Blueprints one of those games where like you still get like permanent upgrades in some way, or are the permanent upgrades kind of like knowledge checkpoints? I feel like that's kind of like the vibe that I was getting off of some of it.
It's both. So there are certain things that you get as permanent upgrades, which are really satisfying. But a lot of it is what you are retaining in your old noggin here. And so I think that's what really makes it appeal to so many people. And what is really interesting, I mean, if I were to show you all of the notes that we have taken, that would be a huge advantage for you if you were to go back to it in a way that it's like, I think really cool. Like, there's a trophy, I think, for beating it in one day, like the first time you play through. I don't even know how that would be
really
possible from like you would have to get really lucky with your draws. But like in theory, I do kind of see how it would be possible, because if you know exactly what you need to do, I don't know. I actually don't know how that would be possible, but conceptually, it kind of makes sense. So it is one of those things that definitely, if you were to go in knowing stuff now, it would be like starting with a cheat code, I feel like, in any other game, which is really cool.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
It's such a cool idea for a game. Like it really is like something so unique that especially in like a rogue, like, when's the last time you saw a roguelike puzzle game?
Yeah, I think it's arguably the first of its kind.
Yeah, like I feel like those just never happen. So to see something that like it's a very like refreshing thing.
Yeah,
for me, especially as someone who really enjoys roguelikes.
You'll have to let me know if you, and all of us at home here, if you go back to it, because I would be really curious to see how it clicks with you as you keep going. I do really like this game. I think it's great. I don't think I'm as in love with it as some of the critics and stuff on the internet. I think I come down on an 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay,
is where I think it's great.
That's solid. That's really solid. Yeah,
I really enjoyed my time with it. It definitely, I mean, it's really just comes down to a genre preference. Roguelikes are not my favorite genre. They click with me for a while, and then the repetition almost inevitably always sits in. I was hanging out with some friends this weekend. We were talking about Returnal and Dead Cells and Hades, and like just all these great games in the genre that people love. And I'm like, yeah, I've really enjoyed all of those games. I've beaten most of them in my own, mind at least. But it just feels like people, it feels, and I don't want to generalize because obviously, but like in the critics circles that I follow, it feels like roguelikes are just, I mean, look at Balatro last year. I mean, game of the year contender for people. And I don't know. It's weird because I'm the type of person that'll listen to the same song like 10 times in a row over and over again. Like repetition doesn't generally bother me. Like I can do that, but for some reason in roguelikes, it's like, I don't know. I think it's like, maybe
we just haven't found the right one for you. I think we just need to find you the right one.
Yeah, which I still enjoy them, to be clear. That's what I'm really getting at, is like, I do still like roguelikes. All those games I listed are games that I think are great. It's just like, I would maybe like them a little more if it was like just a beginning to end. You know what my favorite roguelike probably has been so far is the God of War Valhalla DLC.
I knew you were going to say either that or the freaking Last of Us one.
I genuinely think that the God of War Valhalla DLC is probably my favorite roguelike of all time, because it's the perfect,
it is really good.
It's the perfect length. It is narratively so satisfying, and it's built on a gameplay like loop that I just adore. I think the combat in the game is fantastic. So, maybe that's
that DLC is crazy. It's crazy that DLC is free.
Free.
I've said it so many times. I cannot believe that they just gave us that. I would have paid like 20 or 30 bucks for that.
Yeah, insane.
Like,
It was absolutely worth
it's
money.
nuts.
We are, you know, in a world where we're
spoiled.
paying $20 for Nintendo Switch 2
For a
upgrades.
Kirby upgrade.
I'm just saying, dude, one of these things is not like the other, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, Blueprints, 8 out of 10. Definitely go play it. I think it'll probably be in my top 10. It could possibly get. I think it'll probably be in like the bottom 5 if I had to take a guess right now.
Bottom 5.
Just
bottom. Okay.
yeah. Just when you look at of the top 10. Yeah, when you look at what's scheduled to come out this year. I mean, this is a great year for games, dude. I mean,
this year's crazy.
This is like great.
Dude.
And now that we officially have Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed out of this year, it's even better. To be honest, dude. If there's a world where Grand Theft Auto 6 took Game of the Year over some of these other candidates, I would be so mad. I mean,
dude, I saw that, and like as long as I've been waiting for GTA 6, it's like I don't mind GTA. Like, I think the GTA is fun, but I want Expedition 33 to win Game of the Year so bad. I've literally only played it for like 10 hours, and I know I've already got it in my head. It is my headcanon that is like my ride or die until December. Like, I don't think there's another game that'll do me like that game has done for me. So
well, look, Andrew, that's a great segue into my review of that game, and that's a pretty bold take of you to say 10 hours in, but being honest, it's the right take, because this game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. This game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Yeah.
Let's go.
I am precious with my 10. I was thinking about it last night after I beat it. I was like, can I give it one of my elusive 10 out of 10s? And I just kept thinking about like any perceived negatives that I would have, right? Okay. And we kind of touched on these a little bit. All those will be spoiler free, of course. But to get the very few negatives out of the way, right? The audio mixing, it's not great. It continues to be a problem as you go. I think we talked about this a little bit. I was in the very last area, like on the way to the final fight. It's supposed to be the super climactic fight, and the audio just cut out. There's no background music or anything.
Oh no!
And like there'd be multiple times when I was like in menus and stuff, and like it's like the loop breaks or something, and you can hear it cut off, and then there's just nothing for a little while. And obviously there's the sound mixing as far as like the music being way louder than the dialogue and things like that at some parts, but like it was never detracting for me in a major way. It's not like the game stopped playing audio in the middle of a boss fight or something like that, or an emotional scene or anything like that. It was always just kind of like moving about. It's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And navigation still does get a little I would only call it annoying. I wouldn't even say so far as frustrating. Like there are definitely times where I was like, okay, I really wish I had a map, because I don't know where I am right now or where I'm supposed to be going. But and the only other even like perceived negative, which I don't even think is a negative, is like I didn't cry playing this game, which I was expecting to at some point. But it did still evoke a lot of emotion for me, and in a lot of ways I almost feel like, because I still was so enamored and enjoyed it so much, because that's such a good way to just get me specifically. I'm such a sucker for like wanting to feel something, especially sad. And the fact that I still was so invested in the story and the characters without it ever being to the point where I'm like boo-hooing, I think is almost more impressive in a way. Because I still was deeply, deeply invested. And I think that ultimately comes around in the sense that it is such a thinker of a game, that the story has so many layers to it and so many twists and turns that are not predictable and incredibly satisfying, and like trust you to kind of figure it out. Like that you have to take a little bit of time to sit on it and understand exactly the full ramifications of what is going on in this world. And it feels like it is so rich for so much more to tell. And that's even from the perspective of just like the little journals you find of the other expedition teams as you go, but obviously even more so with the giant overarching narrative. I stand by what I said last week. I think it's got one of the best, if not the best, combat systems of any game I've ever played. You know, I think I kind of touched on this a little bit last week, where there were certain enemies I felt like some of their patterns were like intentionally obtuse to the point where like it's kind of hard to parry, and sometimes that can be a little annoying if it's in a fight where I feel like I don't have enough time to fully master it, or if I'm like leveled up enough where I don't need to master it because I'm can kind of just tank stuff. That does make me feel like I'm kind of missing part of the core gameplay. But it never was to the point where I was like, okay, well, this is ruining my experience, because also there's the whole tactical side of how well did you build your build, as far as are you able to do that if you can't parry stuff every time, if you aren't hitting your dodges correctly. I still think that's a valid way to play the game if you want to play it more traditionally. I mean, granted, once you get into the end game and like, you know, really dive into that stuff, you're gonna have to parry your dodge one. So it's not like it's a optional mechanic for the most part, but I mean, one of the best soundtracks.
Dude, I was killing it. I was killing it on the parries, and then there's this one enemy that I finally got someone that juked me. Like, they were literally sitting there. They're all, you know, they're squaring up. They went at me with the right hand, and then they were like, "Oh, nope, left hand." I was like, "Oh no,
gotcha."
He got me.
Yep.
He got my ass.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's an absolutely gorgeous game. I mean, the art style is so fantastic. There's a relationship system with the characters as you get a little bit further in that is so organic and feels so satisfying. It's funny because I feel like I heard in the like pre-review cycle people saying that like, yeah, it's a little bare bones because like you're really just going and talking to them. It's not like I don't know. The first one that comes to mind obviously is Persona, where it's like I guess you have multiple dialogue options and you're trying to make sure you pick the right one, and that impacts things, and then sometimes you'll have to do like request form and stuff like that. I'm like, there is kind of similar depth to that. I just don't think it is based on like a point system like Persona was, at least in the older ones, where it's like you have to pick the right ones or you don't fully maximize it, you know. But it gives these characters so much depth, and the dialogue in those scenes specifically, I feel like, is so mature in a way that I really feel like helped develop those characters. I think that I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, just gushing about all my favorite things as I think about them. But like the combat system, to go back to that, it's like the differences between each of the characters and the journey I went on with them as I was going is like, at any point in the game, I had a different favorite party member. Like they all have their time to shine, and they all benefit in different, I think, segments of the game, and depending on what your Pictos or Luminas are at that time, what your weapons are at that time, and what your enemy that you're fighting at that time. But like, I can think of like 3 different distinct points where I was like, oh, that character is easily the best. And now I'm like, oh, this other character is easily the best. Oh, this character is now totally the best. I just think that it has so much depth to it in a way that's so satisfying, in a way that I've been thinking I think could be detrimental to other turn-based RPGs. Going back to it, it's like, how do I go back to a game where I don't have that active parry system now? It's like that just is so engaging to me that I think back to something like a Metaphor, and I'm like, I loved that game, but like,
I just gotta tank this now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I'm just sitting here watching, you know, which is an argument for all the people who hate turn-based RPGs, and I always thought it was stupid. But it's like, there is something to, now that I've seen the other side, you know, what it could be. It's like, why? This is arguably just, I don't know, an inherent addition, like plus to this experience. It's just adding another layer.
Yeah.
That is so satisfying. And really, at the end of the day, the game just has the sauce, dude. It just has this special aspect that's hard to describe, but like the fact that when you finish a battle, it doesn't say, you know, next or continue. It says we continue, you know, and the fact that
so cool.
Like when, I don't know if you've gotten to an instance where this happens yet, but I'm almost, because how many party members do you have right now?
I have 4.
Okay, so if you haven't already had this happen to you, then you will, or you'll see it as an option. Once you your party members are in combat or consist of 3
Oh
people.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then if those 3 people wipe, it gives you the option, send in the reserve team. And it flashes when you send them in the last stand of Expedition 33. It's just like, dude, you could have just like said nothing or just like whatever. But it's like, it's these little touches like that it's just, this world has so much sauce, dude. And like, there is so much intentionality behind everything. I think that's really what that speaks to, is like they had a vision for the style that they wanted with this game, and it's so unique. I mean, it's just a French game, dude, which we just don't ever get, so it feels fresh in that sense too. I love it. But it's like, it feels very stylistic in that way too. I mean, it's just the game is a masterpiece. I mean, I don't think a masterpiece means something has to be perfect, but like I was thinking about other games that I would call like a masterpiece, like Baldur's Gate 3, or like I'm trying to think of, like, I'd probably call The Last of Us a masterpiece as well. It's like these games that aren't perfect, but like are so overwhelmingly great that like the little minor things that might get in the way for me just are not a factor. And that's,
I feel like all of those are like genre defining games too.
Exactly.
And I feel like this can definitely be one of those genre defining games for like, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm only 10 hours into it, so I can't really make that call yet, but I can see kind of where we're going. Well, I think that I can see where we're going.
I don't think you can, dude. I don't think you can.
I was about to say, a lot of people have been telling me you have no idea what's coming next.
Yeah.
But just like in my head, the path that we're going on, I'm like, dude, by the end of this game, like this is gonna be an all-timer for me. I just know it. I have like that like gut feeling.
Yeah. Well, and the last thing I'll say, that's just like a nice little, I say nice little bonus, it's a huge part of the game. It feels like the game really wants you to play linearly up until like basically the very end. Like you get these moments where you can explore a little bit more, but you don't get the full access to the map, I feel like, till the very near the very end. And the way the world opens up when you get that is just bonkers, dude. Like I've never had a game where it feels like the exploration is so, I guess I've never played a turn-based game, I would say, that has like the exploration that is so organic. I keep saying the word organic, in that sense maybe that's not what I'm looking for, but like satisfying, so natural, because like I would just, okay, I have my character on the world map now, I can go wherever I want, and I'm just constantly finding either new enemies or entire new areas. There are so many optional areas, dude, that are either full of these combat encounters that are just absolutely brutal, or these totally wild environments with these like kind of, there's environmental puzzles to figure out as you go into some of them too. There's just so, I mean, there's these goofy platforming
I hit my
sections.
first platforming check. Yeah, I just hit one of those.
Yeah. There's just so much to see and do in a way that, like, I think back to Kingdom Hearts 3, where I beat that game and I was like, I remember in the old games how much I enjoyed doing stuff after I beat them, going back and doing the Coliseum and like going back and finding all the secret bosses and stuff like that. And this is that to like the nth degree. I mean, they're just so many things that are both narratively satisfying, that are totally optional, and give you ways to just keep, like, I beat it last night and I am immediately going to jump back in probably today to just go back and start doing more of the combat stuff, because I think I just want to keep going and get max level and doing all these big challenges and things like that. And it's just, it has the depth with these builds that you can make to keep going, to really push you to your limits. And it's just special, man. It is a special game that I think I will be thinking about for a very long time, and I'm excited for you to keep making progress.
I'm so excited to keep going on it. That's what I'm going to do until I have to go to work today. That's all I'm going to be doing. I don't go in for another like 5 hours. It's a really easy game for me to sit down and binge. Like lately with games, like I find it hard to like sit down and like really focus on something. Like, and I don't know why. Like nothing is really like hit for me that hard. But this is one where it's constantly like, if I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. And it's just all that I want to do. Dude, the other day I got to one of those areas with like a really just one really hard enemy in it.
Yeah.
I was definitely not the level that I was supposed to be, but I am stubborn.
Yep.
I am very stubborn.
Yep. You and I are the same in that
I
way.
sat there for about an hour, and about 3 or 4 15-minute tries later, I ended up getting it. And then, dude, I leveled up so much. It's like the combat just feels so good, man.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that if you are good enough, like you can just make it through any combat encounter.
Yeah.
Will it take you a while? Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like there's an enemy that I started trying to fight that I was like 100% not supposed to fight. I started doing like my normal amount of damage. It was not even moving the health bar down. I was like, okay, I genuinely don't think I'm supposed to be here. I'm gonna move on.
Was the one that you did beat, was that the sheep guy? Yeah. I went back.
Yeah, once you're like right out of the water area, I think.
Yeah, it's like this. Everything's like all pink.
Or the spring meadows. Yeah.
Yeah. I went back way later, and they were still surprised. I mean, they were easy, but like not like a one shot by any means. And so I was like,
yeah,
I can't believe I was trying
Dude
this.
was just one shotting all of my party. Yeah. Dude was one shotting all of my party members. So I had to get to a point where it was like, all right, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna grind it out real quick. Yep. We're just gonna parry until we can't parry no more.
Parry every time.
And then I finally got to a point where I was just like, let me just let 2 of these people die real quick and just focus on this one.
Lock in.
Because just like super lock in on my L. But yeah, it was, dude, it's so good. It's just so good. I can't wait.
It's
can't wait to keep going.
I will say I played this game on Xbox because of Game Pass. I kind of regret. I mean, I don't regret it. I would have been happy to buy it on PlayStation to give them, support the devs. But I kind of want to go for the plat now. But obviously I'm on Xbox, so I'm thinking that this may be the first game I ever get every achievement on. Which, it's kind of an honor, I feel like, in and of itself.
To think about.
It is. It's not nearly as satisfying as getting the platinum, but I'm like, if I were to give a game like the first honor for me of being the first game I ever get every achievement on, I feel like that would still be, almost the equivalent of getting a platinum. But my hope is that this game does so well that they release like some big collector's edition after the fact. Like I know there was the regular collector's edition that I should have bought.
I should. Oh god!
But
it's like $600 on eBay, bro.
I know. Well, I remember the first time I saw this trailer at last year's Summer Game Fest with Xbox. I was like, I am going to love this game. Like this game is special. I could tell right then. I was ahead of the curve. Okay, I could have gotten in, but I didn't.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it's on Game Pass. Let me use my subscription, save my money. I'm so financially responsible. I say right before I went and bought every Invincible compendium this weekend at Free Comic Book Day. But I think this game also really, really, really will reward a second playthrough. So I'm not gonna immediately buy like the PlayStation version, though. If I really wanted to get all those benefits to replay it, would be to do it now while it's fresh in my mind. But maybe down the road when I'm getting the itch and wanna, maybe this will be like, I used to play Kingdom Hearts 2 every year. Like every single year I would replay that game. And maybe this will be the new one of those for me. So I just start getting it on every system. But I think I will go for it all just because I don't want to stop. Even though I beat it, I just want to keep going. So
please let them put it on Switch too. Oh god, it looked like booty butt cheeks, but
no, I mean, yes, please put it on Switch too, so that it sells more and that it does well. But I would play this on Steam Deck. I think that would be fun if it runs well.
I was about to say Steam Deck.
The only very minor performance issues I had, I switched it over to performance mode so that it favored frame rate. And there's this one move, like there was a couple times towards the end where the frame rate would like chug just like a little bit when there's a lot going on the screen, but the one time it was semi-consistent was really funny. So there's this move where one of my characters would do this giant ice attack, and somehow the ground would just kind of like explode. Like it wouldn't explode, but like it was like somehow the particles would get stuck and like ice would just start like kind of flying out from under the ground, and it would always make that game chug for like 2 seconds when it happened. And I was like, this is a really specific glitch.
Should I use this move?
Exactly. It's like this one move, and it wasn't even like. We'll have to talk about it later. It's kind of funny knowing what the move was now, but yeah. It's such a tiny little thing, but it just reminded me thinking about the performance wise. I am curious how this would do on Switch 2. I mean, I think Unreal, because this is made in Unreal, I think it's supposed to be, very adaptable. It's supposed to be helpful for the lower range machines and things like that. So maybe I wouldn't be surprised. But
yeah, cool.
10 out of 10.
Sick.
10 out of 10. Expedition 33. Cannot wait for
the first 10 out of 10 on the channel.
There you go.
The first 10 out of 10 on the pod. Very fitting. Very fitting.
We said it was our most anticipated. We just knew what we were in for. We knew.
Yeah. I had my mind made up in June of last year.
Honestly, could have been a 10 out of 10 before I even put my hands on the sticks. Okay. Just see that developer direct, dude. That's all I needed.
Oh, it was so good. Let's get into some Thunderbolts. We both saw Thunderbolts on Thursday. We were actually at the same showing.
Yeah. Unplanned.
A few rows back from each other. We did not talk about it while we were there, specifically because we wanted to save it for the viewer / listener.
All for you. All for you folks at home.
Yeah. I think this movie's fantastic. We'll go spoiler free for a little bit, of course, and then maybe dive into some stuff. But I think that this is a really solid movie. Like it's one of probably in my top, 3 or 4 since Endgame came out. Like I think that it's like extremely solid. I think that all of the characters are so good and they work so well together. There's maybe like 1 or 2 characters that I'm like, I maybe need a little bit more of you.
Definitely.
To really like decide on, namely like Ghost.
Yep.
I really like Ghost. I think that Ghost's powers are really cool.
Yes.
And I really like her, but I feel like I just need to see a little bit more of her.
When she was to make given something, she did well with it. She just wasn't given much.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Florence Pugh is just like, she's been one of my favorite actors of this little time period that we're in for a while, and then this just like cemented it. I'm like, dude, you were just incredible.
America's sweetheart.
You're
Russia's sweetheart, I guess, since she's playing the White Widow here.
Yeah.
No, yeah, she's incredible. I mean, every iteration of her, like I don't like Black Widow the movie very much. But even there, I mean, she did great. She was fantastic in Hawkeye, and she is at her best in the MCU, at least here, for sure. I mean, she carries 100%. This movie, not in like a, the rest of the movie sucks kind of way, but she is easily the best part of it. I mean, she, in my opinion, her performance is just on another level.
Yeah, she has so many moments where I'm like, are you actually just my favorite character in the MCU right now? Like, I can't tell. Like, she's so funny and so like kind of relatable in a lot of different ways. And I just vibe with her character and like her sense of humor and stuff so much.
She's human too. I mean, and that's like, it adds levity to the MCU in a way that is nice. I mean, the MCU from a scale perspective has gotten so big and galactic and multiversal, and I feel like we've lost a little bit of that human element that maybe was at the core of like an Iron Man or a Captain America. These like quote unquote normal guys, these humans that just do these incredible things and are these incredible personalities. I mean, she is, I feel like, a great iteration of that, in a way that, builds on the MCU humor we've come to expect, but also has this, like you said, emotional depth that is actually, I think, rare for any of them, that really hits. I mean, It's
Yeah, I mean, dude, that one, the speech like towards the end,
yeah,
like, you know, before everything starts kind of going down
with her and Red Guardian.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, dude, what a moment.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dang, man, like, I feel for you. Like, you know,
I was getting like choked up, and I was like,
yeah,
I think one of the reasons this movie is so special is that it adds this emotional element that, like, I like the MCU as a whole, obviously, right? But like, this is emotional because it is well acted, because it is well written, because it feels like this earned character moment by these performers, right? It's not like this is emotional because I already have an attachment to these characters from years of movies or nostalgia, right? Like, there's a different I still think that is valuable. I still think that's enjoyable, but like, this is a different thing you're going for, and I think even more impressive in a lot of ways for it to work as well as it does.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, dude. And then going from there, I mean, her relationship with Red Guardian, you know, David Harbour, like, he cracks me up this whole movie, dude.
He's like,
God, he's so funny.
he should be like the humor, the MCU humor that's like, all right, this is a little cringe, this is a little like over the top, right? But like, it just works with him. It does. It
works so well.
He makes it work, and I don't know if it's because it's in contrast with some of the darker stuff in here, and the way that, like, I feel like that's why Guardians works for a lot of people, but like, maybe it's just also his performance. I mean, I remember liking him fine in Black Widow, but like, I feel like this is like another level, and maybe it's because of the contrast that you get of him. Like, he feels like he's not just that character, right? He's not just the joke, you know, because of his interaction he has with Yelena and being the heart of the team, I think, in a lot of ways. But,
he's magnificent. He's fun. I often forget that he's like actually a super soldier. until he starts wrecking stuff. I'm like, oh wait, no, you actually do have like powers and stuff. Like, I often just think that he's just like a normal human. But yeah, he's fantastic. He's one of like the big highlights of the movie for me. Because yeah, like you said, I remember him in Black Widow, and I don't remember much about Black Widow. I'm not gonna lie. I remember Yelena, and I remember Red Guardian. Like, those are like the two things that I remember from that movie. And I don't remember, you know, being like super high on him, you know, coming off of that movie. Just because I don't think that he was in like a ton of it.
Yeah.
Like, he was in like a good portion of it. And then he was in Chris's favorite show, What If, for an episode.
Didn't see that episode, but I heard it was bad.
Oh man. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah, he's excellent. John Walker, who is still as unlikable as ever, kind of, he's winning me over a little bit, little by little. He's winning me over.
He's like unlikable, but in this really interesting way, because he has these moments of where you sympathize with him or see him trying to be better. Like, I think he's a really good flawed character, because he's not just pure evil. He's kind of just a jerk who is self-aware enough that he is trying to be better, but in a way that's believable, I think. And he's also, I mean, he has some of the jokes I feel like don't hit as much in the movie, but I think that, again, in some ways that almost benefits his character some, because like, you're trying to be the cool kid, you're trying to be the funny guy, but you're kind of a jerk, so it's not really working.
It doesn't work. Yeah, exactly.
But he has some great moments in this, for sure. I think he is one of the most layered characters right now in the MCU, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that he got like some serious screen time. Like, I feel like he got more time than Ghost probably did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And because, I mean, it's no secret, you know, based off of our Marvel TV show tier list, I'm not a fan of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really do not like him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
I mean, He literally commits like capital murder. Like, that's not cool, bro. That's not okay.
We can agree on that. Capital murder, not cool, bro. Agreed.
But it is good, to see that he's kind of trying to right some wrong. I don't really know.
Yeah.
He's an interesting one. We have everyone's favorite Taskmaster. We love Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then we have Bob.
Yep. That's all we gotta say about that.
Yeah.
What a waste of a character, man. Just a real,
for real.
A real talk. It is just a shame that is that character has been so wasted in the MCU, and I almost feel like they know, which is why they continued to waste them in this. They're just like, all right, well, we kind of just messed up. Let's just,
Yeah.
we gotta accept it. So whatever. I don't know.
They made me so mad. They pissed me off so bad, Chris. It was actually kind of like a funny moment though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happened, and I just looked over at Kayla. I was like, bro, you for real? Be so real.
Yeah. Anyway, Bob / Sentry / whatever.
Whatever that one's name is.
What a great antagonist, if you even want to.
He's amazing.
A character, I guess. Really, is the best way to put it, because there's just so much to him. Yeah, I think he was really well done in this, in a way that kind of solidifies the emotional core of the movie, and again adds that human element in a way that makes all of the themes come together in a really satisfying way. And it's like, I think it could have been so easy, and I could say this about the whole movie, that so much of this could be super tropey. It's like, oh, it's the anti-heroes coming together. Oh, they don't like each other very much, but they gotta team up to get through this. And like, how are these, misfits without the level of powers we're used to seeing gonna fight one of the strongest characters in the entire Marvel universe?
Yeah.
And so many of those elements, I think, could have been really cheesy or ham-fisted, and I think it's a testament to this movie that they aren't. I mean, it all feels incredibly earned and well done, and unique in the ways I think that it all plays out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Bob ends up being like one of my favorite characters, like, of the movie. Or, I mean, one of my favorite like new introductions into the MCU, like, by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so on board with Sentry. He's one of my favorite cards in Marvel Snap. Okay. I played a freaking Sentry Annihilus deck for like 3 months straight, bro.
Sicko.
I love that card. And to finally like see him, and like, even the suit, it looks a little cheesy, but it's supposed to look a little bit cheesy.
Yeah, and the hair and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
did you dye your hair?
You know that he was originally going to be played by
Stephen Ewan.
Stephen Ewan. Yeah.
Crazy.
I genuinely
such a cool
cannot
casting.
envision that. Like, I am trying so hard to picture that in my mind. I can't. But
it'd be weird with the
I think
it'd be strange with like the blonde hair.
This actor, I forget his name. Sorry. Did
Lewis Pullman?
Yes, Lewis Pullman. Yeah, he did fantastic though.
He's amazing. Like, genuinely, like, by the end of the movie, when we get to like the post-credit scene and like all that, like, I'm so ready to see like what he does next.
Yeah.
In the MCU, like, I just want to see him like as Sentry just wreck stuff.
I think he will.
Like,
I think that they know that this movie has been well received, and I'm sure that they will take that into account going forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've already seen some of the ramifications of how well the movie's been doing based on some marketing that's been going on.
Oh yeah, I thought about if we should even address that at the beginning. I mean, I still think that's a spoiler. I think it's lame of them to be doing that so early, but whatever. I mean, it's on all their socials. Like, you'll see what. I mean, basically, they have explained why there's an asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts in all of their social media channels. If you don't know and want to know, then you can literally go to any of them and see. So if you haven't already. I think that's weird, but I think it also is just a testament to how little the studios care about spoilers at this point, which you could probably tell from the way that from the way that trailers have gotten more and more spoilery over the years. But they know that those are the moments that people will talk about and gets more people in seats, in theory, I guess. And I don't know. Possibly. I would love to know, I mean, probably, the marketing behind that. If it's like, because for me, I'm like, well, if I see a spoiler, I'm less excited about something. But I guess for them, it just drums up conversation. Anyway, yeah,
I definitely think they should give it like a week, like
at least
a weekend. Yeah, I feel like is really soon. It's asking a lot of people. Now everyone in the future is going to be like, oh, now I have to go see this movie on opening weekend. Otherwise, I'm going to get, otherwise all of their freaking Twitter accounts are going to spoil the whole movie for me.
I've already felt that. I mean, I feel like
maybe that's the marketing.
I think that is because like there was something. I think it was maybe Daredevil. There was one of those things where I didn't watch the episode until, or no, I think it was Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think is what it was. I didn't watch one of those episodes until a couple of days later, and they just put on their freaking Twitter account who was the guest character of that week. I was like, okay, cool, great. Well, would have been nice to not know that, but
so lame.
Like with Daredevil, the last episode, the giant banner on Disney Plus when you load in to the app is, well, those characters in this episode, I guess.
Oh yeah, dude. So, it's like, come on, guys. Yeah. They just don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
Read the room a little bit.
They've got their own agenda, I guess. But anyway, yeah, this movie's fantastic. I would. What did I give it on Letterboxd? I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think I gave it 4 stars. I
was about to say I'm kind of like around like the 8, maybe like 8.5 out of 10 range on this one.
I gave it 4. Yeah, I think this movie's great. I think we didn't even talk about Sebastian Stan. Honestly, he's one of the characters I feel like didn't get used that much for.
He didn't need to be in the movie, bro. He really didn't. He's one of my like kind of letdowns of the movie. It's like going in, I didn't know if Florence Pugh or Sebastian Stan was going to be like the main character of the movie. Like I didn't watch any trailers or anything until like a couple weeks ago. So I wasn't sure who was going to lead the movie. It's like you have the OG or you have, this massive actor or actress at the moment.
It was definitely her, and she carried it.
It was 100% her, and I'm so glad that it was her. Because he was like in the movie, but like he was kind of like whatever, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. He was probably one of my biggest like downers of the movie. Yeah,
I mean, he gets just because his entrance is sick. I mean, that's a really cool sequence. Cool. And he fits in with these characters, but yeah, as far as what he actually does, like I think it makes sense for him to be in this group in the long run, but they didn't know what to do with him, I think, in this movie specifically.
Yeah. I feel like he put him there like specifically for us Marvel old heads to be like, okay, it's a familiar face that we've seen, since the beginning.
Yeah, probably. And the fact that like they just need to get him out of Congress, dude. Like it's such a stupid. Why did they ever put him there? Like genuinely, what? I don't understand.
It felt strange, right?
Who is voting for this man? Like, I guess, let me not get political. Like, it's not that unbelievable, I guess. But like, I don't know. It shouldn't be believable is what I'll say. So I don't know, dude. It was very weird, but he's back where he needs to be.
We didn't talk about Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Dude. Amazing as Valentina.
I think it was
absolutely
cool
incredible
to see. Like there have been so many teasers of her for all the years. Like I'm building this team, and to see that all kind of come together with her getting her chance to shine, I think was really well done.
Yeah,
she's not like the most menacing villain or anything like that, but it was like a very almost cheesy performance, but one that she owned in a way that worked for me.
I think that's what makes it so fun is that like she's so like unserious, like not menacing at all, but like still has a plan for everything and like still can kind of like what's like manipulate everyone in like certain ways. I think that she's really, really cool.
I think if it was played by almost anyone else, it would be like, okay, this is just kind of goofy in like a bad way, but because it's her, it's like goofy in a good way. It's really the best way to put it. Like, it is still like almost cartoon supervillain, but like she owns it in a way that makes it fun. So
100%. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, great movie. I think it's
very, very good.
I don't think we need to go into spoilers really. I mean,
I don't think we do either. Yeah, it's too soon. I think it's too soon.
Yeah. Well, and like I mean, I don't know. We could like really delve into the emotional moments, I think, and things like that, but I don't I mean, I think they kind of speak for themselves in a way. I mean, they're very impactful and very well done, and maybe at some point we
just
can
go see the
talk
movie.
spoilers, but yeah, really, it is good. Like this feels like classic MCU in a really satisfying way. Like they're characters that we have seen before, but really get more fleshed out. It feels like the world is connected, except for New York just really having a lot going on in the Marvel universe right now. And
why does anyone live there anymore?
I don't know, dude.
It's like Gotham City, bro. It's like, who wants an apartment in Gotham City? Like, New York is that now.
And like no one seems to be acknowledging it or like working together. I don't know. That's the one kind of Marvel specific issue I think they're having, but whatever. I'm not going to let it get in the way, but
yeah. We need some new locations, guys. Come on.
please go find wherever Peter Quill is with his dad. Or not his dad, but wherever he is at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
He seems a little
also where
in the middle of nowhere.
Where's Spider-Man, bro?
Yeah, I mean that's
where's he at?
I
come on, dude. You can't have all this stuff in New York. Like you can't have what happens at the end of this movie happen and not have Spider-Man come out and be like, yo, what's going on, guys? Like, you don't know me, I don't know you anymore. That's fine. I can still help.
Yeah.
Where is he?
I just don't.
Daredevil? That? Like, come on, man.
The fact that there have been two major New York instances back to back, like with Daredevil being so soon before this, and still no mention of Spider-Man, it's like, come on, man. Like, and I don't know. You have this connected world that you generally like. I feel like over the years have gotten better about making feel more connected, but like this is a pretty big gap.
It's like it's now getting to the point where I can feel the licensing issues.
Yes,
are the licensing issues in the room with us now?
Exactly. I will say we've gotten some great memes out of this with like what Fisk and Daredevil are doing during this time. I don't know if you've seen those on Instagram, but there was one where it says Fisk hears the "We built the city." Just over and over again. Yeah, I'll have to send those to you later. But
yeah, send that to me. That sounds funny.
All right,
dude.
Let's wrap this up with a little mini tier list for our standards, at least, but one where we'll have a good bit to talk about. Phase 5 of the MCU. It's only 6 movies here, so I think this will be the first tier list where we probably do not use all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers, S, A, B, C, D.
Yeah. I feel like we probably skip a tier somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. It's
I think
it's a wide gamut. For audio viewers, our list consists of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America: Brave New World, and the Thunderbolts.
I threw an F in there because I think we're gonna need it.
Yeah. We can just go in that order, I guess, chronological order, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, for sure. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah.
I think this movie gets more hate than it deserves. But I don't think that it's like a crowning achievement of the MCU. But
I'm right.
I don't think that it's
look, dude. We're brave enough to say this. I'm right there with you. I think it's not. Good. I don't think it's that great. Let me rephrase. People will really get mad about that. I don't think it's very good. I think it is like definitely on the lower end. But I don't think people reacted so viscerally to this movie, like it personally offended them. Like they went into the theater and somewhere in their showing, they inserted a video of Paul Rudd, dropping the F-bomb at them specifically. Like, I don't understand why people got so worked up about this. As someone who thinks MODOK in general as a villain is stupid, I didn't hate him. I thought he was kind of funny.
Dude,
especially his like final moments where he's like, it says he's like, I'm an Avenger now or whatever. It's like, I don't know. I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. Whatever. Like, the core narrative does suck because it was all built around the fact that his mom just wouldn't speak up, like just wouldn't say what is going on, and the entire movie could have been resolved differently. Like, it is very weak narratively, but like, I don't know, and it is kind of dumb, anticlimactic that like Ant-Man can beat Kang, who's supposed to be like one of the big bads, but like also look what happened with that anyway. It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It doesn't matter.
So like, I don't know, I still felt like it was, I think it's super overhated. I think some of the environments were pretty interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like the actual like setting of it was cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of like cool, like interesting, creative stuff in there. Bill Murray is in this movie, by the way. I forget about that all the time.
For like 5 seconds, dude. Absolute. Here to get my paycheck so and weird. Get out, dude.
100%. But I think a lot of the action in this movie also like really works for me. Like just watching Kang just like obliterate stuff. Yeah, with his little arm beams. Yeah, is really cool to me. I like Stature, Ant-Man's daughter.
Yeah.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that she's fine. I love, dude, Michael Douglas. I love Michael Douglas so much. He's so funny to me without like even trying. I think it's just his voice. And hearing Andy from Kind of Funny like constantly do the impression of him. All I hear is Andy whenever I listen to whenever I hear Michael Douglas talk. Yeah, I think this movie is extremely overhated. I don't like I said, I don't think that it's like a magnificent movie, but it's not a movie that I wouldn't sit down and rewatch. Yeah, I think it's C tier for me personally. That's what I was gonna say. I think C tier. It could even be in like the bottom of B for me if we had like more items on the list. Yeah.
You want me?
But I think
you want me to be honest. I'm looking at this list now. I actually think that there is. I think we actually will use every tier on this. If I'm being honest, based on my rating.
Dang, yeah. You actually might be right. Yeah. just for audio listeners, I did get rid of the D tier and I made it F tier instead.
Yep. Because we all know what's coming, dude. Right.
Just to name it more appropriately.
Next up is Guardians Volume 3. This is the S tier, right? I mean,
yeah. This is my favorite Guardians movie.
Yes,
it has probably a top 3. No, sorry, not a top 3. Maybe like a top 5 or a top 10 like Marvel villain for me. Like I've never hated a villain in any of in any at least solo movie, in any non-Avengers movie, as much as I hate High Evolutionary.
Just
in like a good way. In a good way.
Terrible creature. I mean, yeah, just
like the hatred that I feel for that man is enough for me to like just skyrocket this, because I don't feel that way about many villains in MCU movies ever. Yeah. So,
no, I think that it's just the humor works the best that I think it does in any of the Guardians movies for me. The emotional payoff for all of the characters is, I think, really satisfying. Like what they do, I think it's really interesting because I don't think James Gunn probably had that much of a say in what happened with like Gamora and all of the Guardians in the MCU outside of the Guardians movies. Like I don't know if he really had any say in what happened to Gamora in Infinity War or Endgame. That was Endgame, right? That was Endgame. And them getting teamed up with Thor and all that stuff. And so for them to still be able to bring that back together and like have such a good dynamic, I think, between Peter and Gamora, I think that plays out really well in a satisfying way here. Obviously, all the stuff with Rocket is just heartbreaking, but incredibly well done.
Good Lord, dude. And Lila, I love Lila.
Yeah,
like it's such a that whole relationship, just like that little group
Yeah.
of all of the animals is so good.
Getting the Peter Quill backstory, I think a little bit more, seeing his kind of saga, feel like it also comes to an end. I mean, it just feels like a really strong conclusion in a way that we don't often get. And I mean, I know we'll probably see more of them in some capacity, but like, yeah, I think this movie's some of the best of the MCU.
Yeah, 100%. And oh god, what was I just about to say? Oh yeah, Adam Warlock. Like, I like Adam Warlock in this movie. He's like the one thing that I wish that I had a little more of, or maybe they tweaked him just a little bit.
He's a little wasted.
He's my one complaint of this movie, especially after waiting so many years after the tease at the end of Guardians 2. Like, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
I mean,
he'll be back, certainly.
Definitely. And I still think he has potential in the long run, but yes, he definitely was wasted, unfortunately. But the performance was still pretty good, I thought, by Will Poulter.
Yeah, Will Poulter's good. Cool. Yeah, S tier on that one. The Marvels. I also think that this movie is overhated.
I think, like, I like begrudgingly, in a somewhat way, I guess, say that Ant-Man and Quantumania is overhated. I actually think this movie is severely overhated. Let's just get out of the way now. Possibly the worst Marvel villain of all time.
The villain is so
I don't
bad.
remember.
I don't know how I remember the name.
I don't remember the name.
Dar-Ben.
Yep.
Dar-Ben.
No idea. Motivations non-existent, really. Somehow she was related to Ronan, I think, and what happened there.
Oh yeah, it was because Carol came back and destroyed her.
Yeah.
Like the Kree planet or whatever. So she was trying to exact revenge or something like that.
Right. But I think that the action in this movie is so cool, with them using all of their powers simultaneously and swapping positions. I mean, I think it's some of the best fight choreography in a Marvel movie. I think that the dynamics between these characters is awesome. Like Kamala Khan getting to be the fangirl that, she feels like she was born to be, I think was really endearing. I know people don't like it, and I don't care. The planet where everyone sings, dude, I thought was so fun. I thought it was really fun, and brings levity to a character like Captain Marvel, who's usually, a little bit more serious. I think this movie's really good. I think my ranking for it would be B tier, I think.
Yeah. I can definitely see B tier on this for sure. Yeah, we're talking about Kamala Khan. We're talking about Yelena in Thunderbolts being one of my favorite characters in the MCU right now. Kamala Khan is also just one of my favorite characters in the MCU right now. Was the show great? No, but I really like her.
Yes. Yeah.
And in this movie, she's my favorite part of the movie, hands down.
By a mile.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
She's just so much fun and really lightens the mood a little bit in a lot of ways. Where I feel like Carol is always so almost grumpy serious sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
Girl, you gotta lighten up a little bit. And then in comes Kamala Khan. She's like, hey guys, let's go on an adventure. Yeah,
she's a perfect foil for her, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think some of the emotional stuff that happens with I want to call her Spectrum because I know that's what her card is in Marvel Snap, but
I know.
I don't think
Photon,
right? It is really well done, and kind of has that satisfying conclusion there at the end as well. So
and that post-credit scene,
dude, beginning
the way that I popped off in the theater,
the beginning of what was to come. God. So yeah, I think this movie's overhated. I don't remember it as much as I would like to. When we get the big list together, I think it will fall pretty significantly. But when I think of things that issues with it, the villain is a huge one. But other than that, it's just a fun movie. It's a Marvel movie that I don't know, the whole cat thing. People didn't like that because it was dumb or whatever. I thought it was fun. Everything that they go for that tries to be fun in this movie that I feel like in so many of the other Marvel movies would be either cringy or feels played out. It feels like it's different brand of humor that they're going for here. And because of these characters, the deadpan Captain Marvel with the super jokey and silly Kamala Khan, it's it feels like it works. Like they make it work with the dynamic they have in a way that it wouldn't in many others.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super overhated. If you still haven't seen this movie because you just refuse to for whatever reason, just go watch it.
Yeah, just
go make your own. Please go make your own opinion. It's really not that bad. Yeah. Next up, Deadpool and Wolverine. We on 3. 1, 2, 3. S
tier. I was between A and S tier for this.
Really? What? I mean, I think this is arguably like, is it better than Guardians 3? I actually don't know.
That's a rough one.
I think that it's on the same level for
different.
Me.
They're so different, dude. It's so hard to compare them. Like, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about why I like Thunderbolts, and that like Thunderbolts feels like it is really. It feels like it's emotional because of what is happening right there in front of you, right? And some of the like emotion. I still really, really like Deadpool and Wolverine, but I do think some of the emotional sides of it, like, obviously is going for the nostalgia bait or things like that, right? You know, with everything with Laura and all of the throwbacks and things like that. But it doesn't make the humor any less good. I still think it's hilarious. Like, as someone who's seen it multiple times, I think the humor stands up.
Yeah, I went and saw it 3 times in the theaters in like a week or two, and it was every single time. It was so much fun, dude. Because and so many of the action sequences, like, there's so much going on. So every time that I went back, I would try to focus my eyes somewhere new, so I could like actually like dive deep, especially in like the last scene. You know, when Deadpool and Wolverine are fighting many enemies all at once. Like, the first time that I watched it, I just focused on one of them. The second time that I watched it, I just focused on the other one. Like, and it made it so much cooler to like kind of watch it like that and like appreciate all of the different aspects of like the action of it all. And I mean, it's just freaking Cameo City, right? Like, there are a lot of like really cool moments in this movie.
Yeah, I think
the beginning, the intro.
It's so good, dude.
The intro's so good.
That's like arguably the thing I would think about the most when I was like, do I want to go see this again? I was like, yeah, I want to go see that again. I think bottom of S tier actually is, I think Guardians 3 is a better product. Like, not to sound gross, but it's a better overall story, right? But like, I think maybe Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't make S tier like in the big list, but I think for this one especially, it's I think it's fair.
The one thing that I think would maybe put it under Guardians 3 for me is I like Cassandra Nova, but like I don't think that's another villain that I don't think hits high evolutionary status.
Oh yeah, definitely not that good, but I still think she's one of the better ones.
Definitely very like menacing.
Yes.
For sure.
Creepy, dude. The creepy effects, creepy. Man.
The fingers.
Audio listeners, make sure you check out what just happened on camera there.
I didn't like that. I felt it. I felt it all the way through the screen.
Watch out. I'm coming for your nose.
No. So yeah, we'll go bottom of S on that one. And the last 2 movies we've kind of talked about previously. We've already talked about Thunderbolts this episode for sure. Captain America: Brave New World. We talked about a few weeks ago. F tier.
Stinker, crap, bad, terrible. I hate that movie so much. The more time has only made me hate it more. It's so bad. What a stinker. I hate that I'm even thinking about it right now.
It wasn't that bad, Chris, right? It couldn't possibly have been that bad.
No, it's worse. It's somehow worse.
It's worse.
I hate that movie, dude.
Hit you with an F minus.
Negative F. It's like, it's just egregious is the problem, right? Like, if it wasn't so close to like being something that could say something that just refuses to say anything, it wouldn't be as bad.
I maybe don't hate it as much as you do. Like, I do think that it belongs in F tier.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that 100%. I definitely don't hate it as much as you do. You seem to have like genuine resentment for this movie.
Because it could have been like, I don't know, wasted potential is always going to make things sting a little bit more. and there were some things here that could have been fun, could have been interesting, but
it could have been better than it was, for sure. I had a bad to decent time.
Oh wow, what a range! full gamut here. Yeah, and then Thunderbolts. I think it's A tier.
Yeah, I mean, I think that actually is perfect. We just throw it in A tier. You pretty much already heard our thoughts on Thunderbolts. So, yeah, in the F tier at the very bottom of the Phase 5 MCU tier list, Captain America: Brave New World. Can I get some stinkies in the chat? Stinky
Captain America: Bad New World, more like. All I'm saying, dude, I was about to get to a spoiler at the end of Thunderbolts. Never mind.
C tier: Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. B tier: The Marvels. Highly slept on. Go watch it. A tier: Thunderbolts, and then in the S tier at the bottom, Deadpool, Wolverine, and at the top, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That is our Phase 5 Marvel tier list.
There you go. Not bad.
It's been a solid phase, dude.
Yeah.
It really had, like,
it's got everything you could want, from bad to great.
Definitely the difference in quality on some of these things is astonishing.
Yeah.
But what can you do? You know,
it's
you gotta take what the Marvel gods give you. They give it, then they take it.
I just really think when you put all of the phase, I think this will be a great exercise for people who are critical of the MCU. Like, as we go through these, I think this will paint a very clear picture of, like, the MCU has been very consistent in my mind, in that, like, I don't know. I think when you look at the curve for each of the phases, it's going to be similar to this. Like, I think that there will be, it's more top heavy than it is bottom heavy, but, like, there are going to be a couple of misses, along with generally pretty good stuff, along with a lot of great stuff. I mean,
yeah,
that's just, I don't know. That's just how
it goes when you have, friggin' 60 movies.
Exactly.
Like, it's just you're gonna make a stinker every now and then.
Yeah.
Will they all be as offensive to Chris as Captain America: Brave New World? Who knows?
No, I can tell you right now. No, there are very few that are going to be that upsetting. That arguably none that are that upsetting. This might be as low as the low gets. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I was about to say, I'm looking at, like,
I do really dislike
phase 4,
Love and Thunder, but I don't think I dislike it. That's another one, though. If you are talking wasted potential, that's almost worse some ways.
Yeah.
Phase 4 might be a little rough. That might be the worst.
Phase 4, I think, has, like, a fair amount of stinkers, like maybe 2 or 3. Whereas I feel like Phase 5 maybe has, like, one and a half. It's
because they were so worried about the Disney Plus stuff, I think, at that time. Like, they've chilled out with it a little bit.
They're really trying to push, I mean,
this was great. Disney Stuff Plus. The Disney Plus stuff was great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway,
right. Well, cool.
That brings us to the end of episode 9 of the Teardrop Pop. We're almost in the double digits, Andrew.
It's crazy. We've come so far.
I was trying to think what we could do to celebrate next week, but, like, I don't think there's anything crazy happening in the next week. I've already beaten all the big games. I'm not gonna have that much to talk about. I do really want to see the Until Dawn movie between now and next
Gross,
week.
Bro.
I will have lots to say about that, I'm sure.
I still never played Until Dawn,
dude.
I know that. I know. I get that reaction every time.
It's so fun. It is such a fun little jaunt. I played that game like 5-6 times. It's just one of those games that's so easy to replay with people because it's just a watchable game. Everyone wants to see what.
Yeah. How long is it?
It's only like 8 hours. So.
Okay, maybe.
It's not bad.
Maybe.
Yeah, you got other stuff to worry about right now. Maybe save it for the holiday.
Yeah, definitely.
But that wraps up this week. Any final thoughts on any of the stuff we talked about today, or in general? The floor is yours, Andrew.
No. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Everybody go see Thunderbolts in theaters now. Sorry, Thunderbolts asterisk. And then whenever you figure out what the asterisk means, come back to our comments and you know,
tell us what you think about
tell us what
Marvel
you think.
spoiling their own movies 2 days after they've been out, 3 days, whatever. There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember, which makes for bad podcasting. So sorry, everybody. That'll do it, I guess. I was going to say, you were saying go see Thunderbolts in theaters. Also go see Sinners in theaters if you haven't already. I know I said that last week.
True.
I feel like because I haven't like fully talked about it on this podcast, I have not had a chance to gush about it. I mean, it's my movie of the year by a mile. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it is incredible. 9 out of 10.
I need to. Me and Kayla were just talking about it yesterday. She was like, my boss went and saw this movie by himself. He never sees a movie by himself, and he wants to go back and see it by himself again. It's like, dang.
Mare saw it for a second time with her sister.
Really?
I have not had a chance to see it again yet, but it's incredible. It's an original movie that it's been great to see as word of mouth has gotten out about how good it is. It's doing better every week, I think, which is like really unusual. Wow. I don't know if it's doing better or just having a really long tail where it's continuing to do well, at least. And it deserves it. The movie's fantastic. So go support your local theaters. Dude. So, all right. You got Expedition 33 to play. I have Expedition 33 to think about and listen to in my car. And we will be back regular time next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed for episode 10. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Keep dropping those paws.